Welcome back to Dr. Gilbert, Healthy Aging. I am Dr. Gilbert. Throughout my extensive, decades-long active clinical career as a practicing physician, a neurological researcher, and a general surgeon who has operated on the microvascular networks of the lower extremities, I have looked directly inside the living tissue structures of the human foot. I have held the incredibly delicate, thread-like nerve fibers that allow you to interact with the world, and I have witnessed the tragic, silent, and entirely preventable cellular decay that occurs when those fibers are systematically destroyed. When you spend years examining the precise mechanical and vascular root causes of senior disability, you discover a deeply unsettling truth. The ultimate threat to your independent physical autonomy does not typically hide outside your home. It does not wait for you on steep public staircases or slippery, icy streets. It sits right directly inside the absolute comfort of your own living room, operating as a silent, slow-motion trap during your most relaxed evening hours. And today, we are going to expose a highly specific, deeply catastrophic, and almost universally ignored neurothermal phenomenon that I refer to in my clinical practice as the sensory desensitization trap. It is an invisible living room danger that is actively, permanently blinding the peripheral nerves of your feet after the age of 70. Let us sit down together and discuss a heavy, silent, and deeply isolating physical anxiety that millions of you face in absolute solitude behind the closed doors of your own homes. Have you noticed that when you are resting in your favorite armchair during the cold winter months or chilly evenings, your feet feel completely freezing cold, heavy, and dead? To solve this deeply uncomfortable sensation, have you adopted the common habit of placing a small, portable electric space heater or a concentrated thermal radiation lamp directly underneath your desk or right in front of your footstool to blast your toes with direct, dry heat? Do you sit there for hours, enjoying the intense warmth, feeling that this heat is actively helping your circulation and comforting your arthritic joints? If you answered yes to this everyday habit, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice with absolute, undivided cognitive focus today. You are unknowingly participating in a slow-motion neurological disaster. The habit of exposing cold, aging feet to direct, unshielded thermal radiation from a space heater is one of the most destructive things you can do to your lower body nervous system. You are not helping your circulation. You are actively, cooking, degrading, and permanently short-circuiting the vital peripheral nerves that connect your brain to the floor. You are stepping directly into a permanent sensory blackout. In the mainstream world of modern geriatrics, I see patients and primary care doctors make the fatal mistake of treating cold, numb feet as a minor vascular annoyance, something to be managed by wearing thicker fuzzy socks, buying vibrating foot cookers, or passively taking heavy prescription nerve-numbing pills like gabapentin. But as a surgeon, it is my professional duty to look you directly in the eye and share the raw, unfiltered clinical truth. Ignored peripheral nerve starvation is a rapid downward spiral. When the sensitive nerve endings beneath the skin of your soles are systematically subjected to artificial, unshielded infrared thermal energy, they do not simply warm up. They undergo an irreversible thermal degradation known in molecular biology as protein denaturation. Because your feet are already suffering from age-related poor circulation, they lack the rapidly flowing blood needed to dissipate this intense external heat. The temperature inside your deep tissue layers climbs to a hazardous peak, blinding your proprioceptors and permanently destroying your brain's ability to calculate your center of gravity. Left unaddressed over months and seasons, this silent living room danger leads to complete, permanent foot anesthesia, rapid muscular wasting, balance collapse, and devastating neuropathic skin ulcers that can rapidly threaten your very survival, permanently stripping away your independent identity forever. But I did not create this comprehensive, ultra-deep dive masterclass to leave you sitting in a state of helpless fear or psychological discouragement. Fear is a paralyzing, toxic emotion that serves absolutely no clinical purpose in your longevity journey. Quite the opposite. Today, I am going to hand you an absolute, scientifically validated, and highly concentrated mechanical shield of protection. In this episode, I am going to reveal one remarkably simple, doctor-approved daily exercise protocol specifically engineered to instantly revive your sleeping foot nerves, boost arterial blood velocity to your toes fast, and permanently insulate your balance without ever using a dangerous space heater again. This specialized neurovascular routine requires absolutely zero expensive gym equipment, takes less than 3 minutes of your time right inside your living room chair, and works in absolute harmony with the laws of thermodynamics and human anatomy. Yet, by making this single subtle modification to how you manage your cold feet today, you possess the unique physiological power to instantly double your ankle responsiveness, expand your collapsed capillary loops, and permanently protect your independent freedom for decades to come. If you are truly ready to stop shuffling in fear, permanently dissolve that dead, cardboard-like numbness beneath your soles, and walk through this world with absolute physical confidence, turn off all background noise right now. Eliminate all distractions, sit back comfortably, and let us break down this deep anatomical knowledge together. This will be the most critical hour you spend on your longevity this year. Before we unlock the elegant neurological engineering behind your body's balance control networks, take a brief moment to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By doing so, you join our global healthy aging family and ensure you are always equipped with the real clinical truths needed to protect your sovereign physical freedom. Now, let us uncover the hidden mechanical and thermal collapse that occurs inside your feet whenever you sit in front of a space heater after 70. To permanently reverse the progressive numbness in your lower extremities and understand exactly how a common living room space heater destroys your balance, we must examine human neuroanatomy through the strict laws of thermal regulation, fluid mechanics, and cellular bioenergetics. Your feet are not simple structural blocks meant only to support your weight. They are an extraordinary, high-speed sensory organ packed with millions of specialized microscopic nerve endings. These endings, specifically Meissner's corpuscles, Pacinian corpuscles, and Merkel discs, function as your body's biological antenna. They are responsible for detecting the absolute finest microvariations in floor texture, hardness, slipperiness, and angle, instantly reporting this data up your spinal cord to your cerebellum so your brain can adjust your balance within milliseconds of taking a step. For this high-speed electrical highway to function smoothly, these delicate nerve receptors require a massive, continuous supply of oxygen and glucose, which is delivered by that microscopic network of blood vessels we call the vasa nervorum. However, as we cross the biological milestone of age 70, a natural, age-related vascular slowdown occurs. Due to mild atherosclerosis and a reduction in daily activity, the baseline arterial blood flow traveling to your feet drops significantly. Because less warm, arterial blood is reaching your toes, the temperature of your extremities plummets, creating that freezing cold sensation that makes you reach for the space heater switch. In advanced physiology, this state of low-level tissue starvation is known as chronic peripheral ischemia. Now, let us analyze the profound molecular disaster that takes place inside your ischemic foot tissues when you place a portable electric space heater just 12 to 18 inches away from your bare or sock-covered feet. Your space heater operates by projecting intense, concentrated infrared thermal radiation directly across space. When this dry radiation hits the skin of your feet, it rapidly heats the surface tissue layers. In a young, healthy body with highly elastic, wide-open blood vessels, this external heat is instantly met by a powerful defense mechanism. The brain commands the local blood vessels to dilate widely, creating a rapid, torrent-like volume of blood flow that acts as an internal cooling system, absorbing the excess heat and safely dissipating it throughout the rest of the body. But let us look at the reality of an ischemic foot over the age of 70. Because your arteries are stiff, calcified, and partially narrowed, They cannot dilate quickly or widely enough to create this protective internal cooling current. Your lower body circulation is stuck at a slow, sluggish trickle. Under the unyielding laws of thermal dynamics, when heat energy is continuously applied to a fluid-restricted tissue system, the internal temperature of that tissue rises uncontrollably. The heat becomes permanently trapped inside the skin and subcutaneous layers of your soles. This localized overheating triggers a silent, catastrophic phenomenon known as thermal nerve desensitization. The delicate proteins and ion channels that form the structure of your proprioceptors and peripheral nerve membranes are incredibly sensitive to temperature. The moment the internal tissue temperature crosses a critical physiological threshold, these specialized proteins begin to vibrate violently, unfold, and lose their functional shape, a molecular process called protein denaturation. It is the exact same chemical process that occurs when you drop a raw egg into a hot frying pan. The clear, liquid proteins instantly turn solid, white, and permanently altered. Because your feet are already partially numb from chronic ischemia, your brain's pain warning system has an age-related processing lag. You do not feel that your feet are being burned or overheated. You only register a pleasant, deep warmth. But at a cellular level, your space heater is literally cooking your peripheral nerve endings, thumb. The denatured proprioceptors lose their electrical conductivity. They can no longer generate a clean current to report spatial data to your brain computer. Instead of sending accurate information, they either go completely silent, creating that dead cardboard numbness, or they begin to misfire chaotically, blasting corrupted static electricity that your brain perceives as a relentless, burning, tingling sensation. Can you see the absolute tragedy of this invisible danger? By sitting in front of that space heater every single evening, you are systematically blinding your body's balance antenna. Your brain becomes completely disconnected from the floor. The next morning, when you stand up from your chair to walk across your living room, your cerebellum is starving for data. It does not know where the floor is, it cannot activate your ankle stabilizers, and your body enters a state of severe unsteadiness. A tiny, unnoticeable wrinkle in your carpet or a transition to a slick hardwood floor becomes a deadly trap. You trip, your knees buckle, and you crash violently onto the hard ground, suffering a life-altering hip or skull fracture. You did not fall because you are old. You fell because your space heater permanently uncalibrated your balance compass. To reverse this decay, we must permanently turn off the artificial radiation and implement a specialized movement that uses your own anatomy to generate deep, safe, vascular heat fast. Let us now move away from the anatomy of the decline and focus 100% of our clinical energy on the solution. I am going to teach you how to execute the three-phase neurovascular ignition. This is a beautifully engineered, highly concentrated physical routine specifically created for adults over the age of 70 to safely generate immense internal vascular heat, flush out chronic numbness, and permanently recalibrate your sleeping foot receptors right from the safety of your living room chair. When seniors experience freezing cold, numb feet, they often think that the only way to warm them up is to apply an external heat source like a space heater, a hot water bottle, or a thick electric blanket. But as a physician, I must tell you that applying external heat to an ischemic limb is like trying to dry a flooded basement by throwing hot towels onto the floor. It handles the surface symptom while the underlying mechanical plumbing remains completely broken. The only real, scientifically permanent way to warm up cold feet and heal dying nerves is to generate endogenous vascular heat, heat created directly from the inside out by forcing your own heart and deep skeletal muscles to blast a high-velocity torrent of fresh, warm, oxygen-rich arterial blood down through your leg arteries. This specialized neurovascular ignition protocol is incredibly brilliant because it requires absolutely zero standing, placing zero stress on your arthritic kneecaps or stiff hip joints. It can be performed while sitting completely relaxed in a firm chair while watching your favorite television program or reading the evening news. Yet, by coordinating your breath with high-load, isolated muscular contractions, you can generate an intense internal pressure gradient that forcefully expands your pruned capillary loops, flushes out stagnant venous fluid, and shocks your sleeping proprioceptors back to life with absolute, total clinical safety. Follow me through the three precise evolutionary phases of this neurological reset. Phase 1. The metatarsal apex pivot. The infrastructure plumbing. The very first phase is engineered to turn on the primary peripheral heart of your lower body, the deep venous network embedded within your calf muscles, forcefully clearing out fluid stagnation so fresh blood can enter. How to perform it perfectly. Sit completely tall on a firm, sturdy chair, such as a wooden kitchen or dining chair. Do not sit in a deep, soft sofa that forces your pelvis to slump backward. Slide your buttocks slightly forward so your lower spine is away from the backrest. Keep your neck long, roll your shoulders back, and look straight ahead at the horizon line. Place both of your bare feet completely flat on the hard floor, spaced exactly hip-width apart. Your toes must point straight ahead like parallel train tracks. Your knees must be bent at a perfect 90-degree angle directly over your ankles. Inhale deeply through your nose for 3 slow seconds, expanding your lower abdomen with oxygen. As you begin to slowly, smoothly exhale through your mouth, keep the heels of both feet completely, firmly glued to the floor. Do not let your heels lift a single millimeter. Now actively pull your toes and the front of both feet as high as they can possibly go toward the ceiling, flexing your ankle joints to their absolute maximum physical limit. At the peak of this lift, when your feet are cocked high, actively spread all 10 of your toes as wide apart as physically possible, trying to create wide spaces of naked skin between every single digit. Hold this peak lift and wide splay for 3 full seconds. Feel the deep, tight, burning contraction developing along the muscles of your shins, the anterior tibialis. Slowly lower your toes back flat to the floor over a 2-second count. Repeat this movement continuously for exactly 15 repetitions. Phase 2. The isometric tibial compression, the arterial hose conduit. The second phase uses the clinical concept of isothermal occlusion. We are going to temporarily restrict and then forcefully release blood flow to create a massive pressure wave that blasts open clogged capillaries. How to perform it perfectly. With both feet resting flat on the floor in parallel alignment, place your right palm flat on top of your right knee and your left palm flat on top of your left knee. Take a deep breath in through your nose, straight down into your lungs. As you begin to slowly exhale through your mouth, keep the wide balls of both feet and all 10 of your toes firmly, completely anchored to the floor. Now, drive both of your heels up into the air as high as they can possibly go, standing fully on the tips of your toes while sitting down. At the exact same microsecond, lean your upper torso slightly forward and press downward through your palms into your knees with maximum physical effort. Use your arm strength and body weight to resist the upward movement of your heels. Maintain this intense conflicting pressure. Your calf muscles are pushing up hard, while your hands are pressing down hard. Squeeze your calf muscles with immense intention, holding this peak isometric contraction for 5 full seconds, counting slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will feel an intense, warm, burning sensation radiating deep through your calves. Slowly lower your heels back flat to the floor over a 3-second count. Repeat this sequence exactly 10 times consecutively. Phase 3. The plantar grab and realignment, the receptor shock. The final phase is designed to directly stimulate the dormant mechanoreceptors beneath your soles and forcefully activate the small intrinsic muscles that stabilize your foot architecture. How to perform it perfectly. With both feet resting flat on the floor, place a clean, small cotton hand towel flat on the ground directly in front of your toes. Keep your heels anchored firmly to the floor. Now, use all 5 of your toes on both feet to actively reach forward, grab the edge of the cotton towel, and curl your toes downward tightly to scrunch the fabric backward underneath the arch of your foot. Squeeze your toes downward with maximum physical effort as if you are trying to squeeze a lemon flat beneath your foot. Hold this intense claw contraction for 3 full seconds. Feel the muscles inside the sole of your foot hardening. Release the towel, splay your toes as wide as possible on the floor for 1 second, and then repeat the grabbing and scrunching motion. Execute this plantar grab sequence continuously for exactly 2 minutes without resting. The surgeon's insight. Why is this 3-phase physical routine so profoundly effective at warming up cold extremities and healing numb nerves without ever using a space heater? Let us look at the beautiful vascular and neurological physics taking place. When you pull your toes high and splay them in phase 1, you are stretching tight ankle ligaments and opening up the microscopic spaces between your metatarsal bones, removing mechanical pressure from your digital nerves. When you execute the high-load isometric calf squeeze against hand resistance in phase 2, you are physically crushing the large venous reservoirs deep inside your lower legs. This action forces the stagnant, cold, oxygen-poor blood to blast upward out of your ankles toward your heart. The exact microsecond you release that 5-second contraction and lower your heels, the internal pressure drops cliff-like, creating a powerful internal vacuum. Your heart responds by blasting a massive, high-velocity torrent of fresh, warm, highly oxygenated arterial blood down through your femoral and tibial arteries. This arterial wave travels at double its normal speed, flooding straight through narrowed vessels, expanding thousands of pruned capillary loops and fully saturating the starving vasa nervorum capillary networks that feed your peripheral nerve endings. Finally, in phase 3, the aggressive, isolated scrunching of your toes under resistance forces the dormant mechanoreceptors, your proprioceptors, to fire a massive synchronized wave of high-frequency electrical data straight up your spinal cord to your brain computer. The dead, cardboard-like numbness dissolves because your nerves are finally saturated with warm oxygen, while the burning, tingling static disappears because the neural pathway is calibrated and clear. You have successfully jump-started your lower body nervous system from the comfort of your chair. Now that you thoroughly understand the precise mechanical, vascular, and neurological execution of the 3-phase neurovascular ignition, we must establish the precise clinical dosage, scheduling protocols, and the long-term biological timelines of how your tissue architecture will adapt and heal. In the clinical science of senior geriatrics and longevity medicine, a physical movement protocol operates exactly like a prescription pharmaceutical compound. If you perform it randomly, or if you ignore the laws of consistency, your brain and your blood vessels will fail to construct permanent, protective structural adaptations. To achieve a complete calibration of your balance compass and permanently save your leg nerves from progressive desensitization, I want you to prescribe this entire 5-minute program to yourself, twice every single day, without exception. The morning dose, the proprioceptive ignition. Execute this entire sequence first thing in the morning, approximately 10 to 15 minutes after you have stood up from your bed and sat down in your living room chair. During 8 hours of nocturnal sleep, your circulation naturally slows down to a sluggish crawl, and fluid pools heavily inside your ankles, leaving your foot nerves blind and numb when you first wake up. This morning dose flushes out that stagnant fluid, expands your capillaries, and ensures that when you step out onto your kitchen tile or carpet, your brain can feel the floor with crystal clear resolution, preventing morning stumbles. The evening dose, the neuropathy shield. Execute this entire sequence in the evening, around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., the exact biological hour when many seniors normally turn on their dangerous space heaters. As we established in our neuropathology chapters, evening is when chronic neuropathic pain and burning tingling sensations reach their worst levels because your body's natural anti-inflammatory cortisol levels naturally plummet. By executing this vascular flush right before your evening rest, you manually flood your nerves with oxygenated blood, keeping your legs warm, calm, and pain-free throughout the entire night. What should you expect to experience inside your lower body as you commit to this daily protocol consistently? Week 1. The angiogenic flash. During the first 7 days, you will notice an immediate, deep, radiating warmth spreading from your calves all the way into the tips of your big toes within 2 minutes of starting the exercise. As your capillaries expand and accept high-velocity blood flow, you may feel a temporary, mild increase in the tingling sensation for a brief minute. Do not be discouraged. This is a phenomenal clinical indication that your dying nerve endings are successfully waking back up and coming back to life. By day 5, the puffy evening swelling around your ankles will drop by nearly 50%. Month 1, the myelin repair horizon. After 30 days of continuous daily practice, the cell populations that form the protective insulation around your peripheral nerves, the Schwann cells, increase their metabolic activity. They actively begin to repair and rebuild the damaged myelin sheath around your leg nerves, clearing away the corrupted static electricity. The burning, tingling sensation will fade away into deep stillness, and a sharp, responsive feeling of raw texture will return to the soles of your feet. Month 3, total balance insulation. After 90 continuous days of daily execution, your body completes a full cycle of angiogenesis, the creation of brand new, permanent blood vessel networks. Your lower limbs will have constructed a dense, active infrastructure of microcapillaries that completely bypasses narrowed or hardened arteries. Your baseline tissue temperature will remain naturally warm all day long without any external heat. Your gluteus medius hip stabilizers will be fully integrated with your foot proprioceptors, and your balance compass will be fully protected against the threat of falls. You have successfully reclaimed your sovereign physical freedom. As a physician and a vascular specialist dedicated to long-term independent mobility, I must look at your daily habits holistically. While practicing your daily neurovascular ignition protocol is an incredibly powerful clinical tool, its therapeutic benefits can be completely neutralized if you are unknowingly committing these 3 common, deadly mechanical mistakes every single day inside the quiet rooms of your own home. Deadly mistakes. #1. Walking indoors in loose, backless house slippers. The moment many seniors step out of bed or sit in their living room, they slide their feet into a pair of loose, soft, backless plush house slippers or flip-flops to walk around the house. From a mechanical friction standpoint, this is a severe biomechanical error. Because a backless slipper possesses absolutely zero structural support around the heel counter, your foot is forced to execute a continuous, subconscious clawing action. Your toes must constantly curl downward and grip the sole of the shoe with every single step just to keep the slipper from flying off your foot. This chronic tension completely freezes your ankle joint capsule, tightens the heavy plantar fascia gonco beneath your sole, and physically pinches the small plantar nerves that supply sensation to your toes, directly causing chronic numbness and burning pain. My strict clinical correction: ditch backless slippers permanently. Inside your home, walk either completely barefoot to stimulate your receptors, wear thick non-slip socks with rubber grips, or wear a supportive house shoe that features a secure, solid back counters that locks your heel firmly into perfect mechanical alignment. Deadly mistake. #2. Sinking into deep, ultra-soft sofa cushions. Many seniors love to spend their afternoons sitting inside massive, plush, ultra-soft fabric sofas or deep recliners that sink down several inches when they sit. While this soft texture feels comfortable initially, from a structural biomechanical standpoint, it is an absolute disaster for your nervous system. When you sink into a soft cushion, your pelvis is forced to tilt backward into a highly destructive slouched position, completely erasing the natural lumbar curve of your lower back. This structural collapse places an immense, continuous mechanical compression force directly against your exiting lumbar nerve roots, completely choking off axonal transport for hours at a time. My strict clinical prescription: avoid ultra-soft, bucket-style seating entirely. Always sit in a firm, supportive chair that keeps your hips resting slightly higher than your knees, and place a small rolled-up towel or a lumbar support roll directly behind the small of your lower back to maintain your spine's natural architectural curve, keeping your internal highways wide open. Deadly mistakes #3. The hidden visual anchor drop. When practicing the numb walk on different surfaces, seniors often let their eyes drift downward, staring intensely at the floor just 12 inches ahead of their toes. As we established, dropping your gaze completely uncalibrates your inner ear gyroscope and erases the stable horizon line from your brain's spatial calculations. Your body will instantly begin to drift and wobble sideways. My clinical correction: keep your chin parallel to the earth and your eyes locked onto the distant horizon line. Trust your feet to navigate space through raw, tactile touch. Your soles are your eyes for the floor. To accelerate your neurological recovery, completely eliminate positional lightheadedness, and build a permanent wall of comprehensive safety around your daily hygiene routine, I want to share 3 bonus daily habits that complement your seated co-contraction flush perfectly. These are the exact clinical protocols I prescribe to patients inside my senior longevity clinic to systematically protect their independent sovereignty. 1. The pre-bath hydration flush. Every single afternoon, approximately 15 minutes before you plan to run your warm bath or step into the shower, drink 1 full glass of cool, pure water. When you submerge your body in warm water, your skin begins to sweat heavily to cool your core temperature. Even though you are sitting in water, you are actively losing significant fluid volume through evaporation. If you enter a warm bath in a state of low-level chronic dehydration, your total blood volume is already low, which causes your blood pressure to crash twice as fast the moment thermal vasodilation strikes. My clinical instruction: drink a glass of water before your bath to preload your blood volume, keeping your arterial pressure stable and resistant to gravitational pooling. 2. The smart temperature calibration rule. Never allow the water temperature inside your bathtub or shower to cross 102 degrees Fahrenheit, Bay 39. Many seniors suffer from mild, age-related peripheral neuropathy beneath their skin, meaning their ability to accurately feel extreme heat is significantly degraded. If you set your water to an ultra-hot steaming temperature, you trigger an extreme, immediate neurological shock and maximum uncontrolled vasodilation that paralyzes your blood vessels for hours. My clinical instruction: always purchase a simple, inexpensive digital floating pool thermometer to place inside your bathwater. Keep the temperature pleasantly warm, never steaming hot, to protect your skin cells and preserve your vascular reflexes. 3. The sensory soul tactile stimulation. Before you step into your bathroom to run your evening or afternoon bath, spend 2 minutes rolling a clean, hard tennis ball or a specialized wooden foot massage roller back and forth beneath the soles of your bare feet with light, comfortable pressure while seated in your living room chair. This mechanical friction acts like a high-voltage wake-up call for your sleeping proprioceptors, forcefully breaking through that dead, cardboard-like sensation beneath your soles and flooding your brain's cerebellum with vivid, high-definition spatial data. Your feet will be fully awake and highly sensitive to the floor texture, allowing you to establish a secure, non-slip anchor the moment your skin touches the bath mat outside the tub. My dear friends, as we draw this comprehensive neurovascular longevity masterclass to a close today, I want to step away from the clinical terminology, step away from the anatomical charts, and speak directly to your heart, not just as a physician, but as a trusted companion on your journey of aging. Reaching your 70s, 80s, or 90s is an extraordinary, sacred milestone. It is a triumphant, beautiful season of life that should be completely defined by your personal freedom, your profound acquired wisdom, your peace, and your joy. Not by physical restriction, daily isolation, chronic joint pain, and a constant, creeping fear of your own bedroom floor. You have spent your entire life working hard, sacrificing for your families, and building the very architectural foundations of our communities. You have earned the absolute sovereign right to live this golden season of your existence with uncompromised physical dignity, with your chin held proud toward the horizon, and with the complete physical freedom to move through this world entirely on your own terms. Losing the sensation in your feet, feeling that terrifying dead numbness step after step, or living with screaming, burning, tingling sensations every night is not an organic, inevitable consequence of getting old. It is simply a biological puzzle, a puzzle of sleeping nerve receptors, expanded thermal blood vessels, and delayed brainstem survival reflexes. And as we have demonstrated together today, using the profound science of neurovascular physiology, every single piece of this puzzle has a logical, scientific, and remarkably beautiful mechanical solution. Do not allow the passive, assembly line attitudes of modern medicine to dictate the boundaries of your personal world. Do not accept a life that slowly shrinks into a single room, a single safe chair, or a rolling metal walker. Your body remains an absolute miracle of biological engineering, fully capable of neuroplastic adaptation, capillary expansion, and vascular recovery until the final breath you draw on this earth. You do not lack the inherent capacity to heal. You simply lack the correct clinical blueprint. Now today, you possess that blueprint. I challenge you right now as your physician. The moment this video finishes and the screen goes quiet, do not just sit there in stagnation. The next time you run your warm bath, stand tall in your mind. Execute your seated co-contraction flush. Squeeze your thighs, brace your abdomen, turn your peripheral heart back on, and step over that tub wall with absolute, magnificent power and sovereign confidence. If you found today's masterclass deeply valuable, please share it immediately with your husband, your wife, your siblings, your neighbors across the street, or anyone you love who struggles with instability, joint pain, or balance loss. Let us eradicate the shame of mobility decline and protect the independence of our seniors together. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time, your trust, and for opening your heart to me today. Subscribe to our channel, move with deep intention every single day, honor your magnificent physical temple, execute your daily co-contraction pumps, and I will see you in our very next clinical episode. Stay strong, look straight ahead at the horizon, and step forward into your day with absolute, magnificent power.